This week on The Splash, the new 911, the cleanest teeth in WB, and the history of snowshoes. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, also that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash. I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you for being with us. Civic Center TV hosts many shows other than The Splash, and we wanted the community to meet the newest host of 911, James Pettinato. Tyler Keefe sat down with him to get the story.
The police department sees a lot in West Bloomfield, and soon you, the viewer, are going to get an insider's perspective from right back here in the West Bloomfield 911 studio as they embark on a new season. One of the longest-running shows on Civic Center TV has a new face as Officer James Pettinato of the West Bloomfield Police Department takes over the hosting gig in the upcoming new season. Pettinato crafted his latest batch of episodes with the goal of enhancing the 911 show and introducing the community to some new and interesting information.
West Bloomfield 911 is a chance for the viewers to see members of the police department, what they do, their functions, and other members throughout the community that serve a purpose as far as law enforcement or public safety. I'm hoping to show a in-depth side of the department. They may not know what a dispatch manager is or what the crisis negotiation team does, but it's a chance for the viewers to see a little more in-depth of the department.
For James, his new role as the Community Relations Officer and host of 911 brings an interesting and exciting change after over a decade as a cop.
I have experience in K-9, have experience as an evidence technician, and taking over this role as Community Relations has been a great treat for me because I was already involved in the community before, so now actually it's my main function. It's kind of cool because in the last 12 years I've been in a patrol car responding to crashes, assortment of reports. Now it's a chance for me to actually get to know the community a little more.
Fans of West Bloomfield 911 have a real treat ahead of them with a list of compelling guests on the upcoming season and some new gadgets as well.
They're going to be able to see some new equipment such as the aerial vehicle that we have, the drone, and get to see what its capabilities are and why we have it. You're also going to be able to see what a new position we have is a dispatch manager, what her role is and how crucial dispatch is, our communication center to our public safety.
You can join James for new episodes of West Bloomfield 911 in late March right here on Civic Center TV. And of course, you can catch up on all episodes of 911 on demand at civiccentertv.com. Outside the West Bloomfield 911 studio, I'm Tyler Keefe, reporting for The Splash.
You can find more information on our website at civiccentertv.com/new911. Next up, we hear about a pretty fine place to get our teeth cleaned. Lawrence Nyland stops by Feynman Dentistry to get the story.
Taking over the practice of a successful doctor is never an easy task, but West Bloomfield dentist Dr. Adam Feynman and his welcoming staff are successfully meeting that challenge at his Maple Road office.
After my training at the University of Michigan, I've been practicing dentistry in Metro Detroit for the last 15 years, and I was able to take on the practice of Dr. Platt this last year. So I've been in this location in West Bloomfield for coming up on a year now, which is really special to me that I can keep the practice going. And it's home for me. I raised my family here, and my wife grew up here, and she's worked in the community for the last 15 years. So it's really coming home and being able to take care of my community now. So I have 4 young kids, and we're very active around here.
Dr. Feynman realized that most people don't especially look forward to a trip to the dentist, but his carefully selected office staff is there to help make the visit as comfortable as possible.
What makes a business stand out in this community, especially ours, it's all about the people, and that means the staff and the patients. All the personalities and how everyone gets along, and it's an extension of myself and the staff's personalities. It's a very warm, welcoming office, and we want to make you feel comfortable here. Going to the dentist is not everyone's favorite thing to do. So the more we can make it comfortable and friendly, when you see a familiar face and we know what's going on in each other's lives, and having our therapy dog Zeus run around a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier to come visit the dentist.
And what better testament to a doctor's dedication than when he gets the most pleasure out of his patient's happiness?
My favorite part about my work is helping people keep their smiles forever. I find that people who keep their smiles for a lifetime tend to be a lot happier. So anything I can do to make that whole process easier and to make people smile is what I really strive for.
Reporting for The Splash, this is Lawrence Nyland.
For more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/Feynman Dentist. Later in the show, the history of snowshoes, and then we sit down with one of our local representatives.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Civic Center TV is your home for everything Greater West Bloomfield. Here you can tune into community programming such as our weekly news magazine show, The Splash, as well as coverage of local events and meetings in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. You can also watch all of your local programming online anytime at civiccentertv.com. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you for being with us. Well, snowshoes may seem like a simple item to help us explore during the colder months, but they do have a complex and interesting history that often goes unexplored. Jay Kustash returns to the woods for the story.
When using snowshoes to traverse the snowy wilderness of West Bloomfield, it's important to understand where they come from and appreciate their history.
So snowshoes were invented over 4,000 years ago and used first by Native Americans to traverse the deep snows that we used to get, or if we have further in North America. This is a really cool example of what they used to look like, and you can still purchase ones that look like this now. They're made from ash wood that's been bent and rawhide, so natural materials. Now we make these more modern ones, and these are the kinds that you can rent here at West Bloomfield Parks. They're aluminum and lightweight, and they're called a bear paw style. And they're great for navigating the kind of snow conditions we have here. They also have a grip on the bottom in case there's icy conditions, and they're pretty easy, user-friendly to put on.
The wooden snowshoes also came in multiple styles, as Lauren explains.
There's different styles. This is the Huron style. If you were to see, Ojibwe style, it would actually be two separate pieces of wood that are attached at the top and at the bottom in a slightly different shape. So different tribes in different areas made different shapes based on the terrain that they were trying to get through. So longer and skinnier was if you had a very wooded area, you couldn't turn very easily in big, bulky snowshoes. And then this style is kind of a combination of the two, because here we have open areas and we have wooded areas. So it helps them get around in the Lake Huron area, which is where it gets the name, the Huron snowshoe. So it helps distribute their weight a lot, and there would be bindings on here to hold it on. Long ago, even before this kind, people would just take like pine webbing and put it on their feet any way that they could. Anything that's going to distribute your weight so that you don't sink through the snow. And really, whoever invented them first was actually nature. So snowshoe hares are the perfect example. Our cottontail rabbits here have thick fur on their feet, but not as thick as snowshoe hares. And they actually stay 1 or 2 inches above the surface versus sinking all the way down if there's deep snow. So they really invented it first. Similar concept, basically just distributing your weight so that you don't sink down as far.
Now, the next time you're using snowshoes to prevent your shoes, socks, and bottoms of your pants from getting wet, you'll be able to understand where they come from and what makes them so special. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Jay Kustash.
To learn more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/snowshoe history. And now it's time for the Civic Center TV event update, where we provide you with upcoming events going on in our community. And for a look at additional events, you can visit civiccentertv.com/events. Dispose of prescription drugs with Operation Medicine Cabinet happening year-round in West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, and Orchard Lake. And this project takes place at the police departments of the 3 communities. Disposing of drugs is completely anonymous. Open 24/7 in West Bloomfield, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Keego Harbor, and Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Orchard Lake. For more information, visit oakgov.com or call your local police. Hear what's happening in our community March 12th. Join the leaders and other members of our area for the 2020 State of the Communities. The event will be taking place 7 p.m. at Abbott Middle School, and you'll be able to hear about what's happening in our community and what are the plans for the future. Hosted by me, we hope to see you there. Do your hobbies include discovering, playing, and learning? If so, visit the public library for their Discover, Play, and Learn events happening weekdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. During this time, children and adults can interact with each other and participate in a variety of activities that promote learning and social skills for children. No registration is required. For more information, visit westbloomfieldlibrary.org. Have your Saturdays been less than spectacular? Then stop by the West Bloomfield Public Library for Spectacular Saturdays. Every Saturday, you and your whole family can enjoy stories, music, and dancing from 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. There's no need to register. For more information, visit westbloomfieldlibrary.org. That's it for this week's highlights. You can find more events online at civiccentertv.com/events and see everything going on in the greater West Bloomfield area. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, I'll sit down with Representative Brenda Carter from Michigan's 29th House District.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
You want it, you got it. Civic Center TV has been bringing you live coverage of your local municipal meetings for years. Now you can catch a replay of those meetings the following day at 1 o'clock and again on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. If that's not enough, you can also visit civiccentertv.com/meetings to view a whole list of on-demand Township Board meetings and keep up to date on the most recent developments in your local government. Giving you more, it's Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm joined this week by Representative Brenda Carter, and thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Oh, thank you for bringing me back. I'm excited.
So we are in a new year since we last saw you. So give us kind of an update of your year-end summary.
Oh, yes, it was a wonderful year. We were able to create 5 amazing task force, one focusing on education, one focusing on our veterans, one that is focusing on poverty and homelessness. The 4th one is maternal health. And the 5th one is revising the criminal justice system. All of these on a local level, and these task force feed the legislators, and hopefully we can get some good policies created up in Lansing.
Okay, so that was kind of what you were working on last year, right?
Yes.
So this year, 2020, it's kind of all about economic growth.
Yes, last year I focused very heavily on community development. I saw some disparities throughout the district that I wanted to work on, and I addressed them with those 5 task force. This year, economic development and workforce development. Right now I'm working on an appropriation, hopefully an appropriation request that will bring probably $250,000 to my district. And with that money we hope to work with the business community and some key stakeholders from the community itself so we can develop a program that will help our young people get jobs. And that's what it's about. And in turn, when they get jobs, because we found a lot of our business owners want to employ people from our district, hopefully that will feed into our businesses, local businesses, and everybody have a win-win.
Right, and it's about making people, or having people stay in Michigan, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, growing the workforce here.
Yes, actually having people stay in District 29.
To be exact.
Yeah,
right?
we have a lot of great things happening in District 29. Already that Auburn Hills is doing quite well with its national and international programs, but Pontiac is on the verge of exploding. If we get Amazon, Amazon is coming. We already have M1 Concourse, and we have Shore Mortgage. So with Amazon, all we want to do is, with the resurgence or the surge of economic development in our community, we want to make sure that our people in our community have a seat at the table, and that means by employing them.
And that is so important.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's something you're very passionate about.
Extremely. When I go out into the communities, whether it's in Keiko Harbor or if it's in Auburn Hills or if it's in Pontiac, when I'm hearing the 25 to 45 age group saying we want a job that can help sustain our families. And in order to do that, they need to have the skill set to go into, to matriculate into these businesses. And the business owners are pretty much saying, yes, once they're ready, we want them. So it's a win-win. It's just an economic, developing the economy right here in District 29.
Okay, so that's what you're working on for this year.
Yes.
But you love kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
You love kids, you love education.
Absolutely.
And there is a House bill that will be going up soon, right?
Yes. Actually, last year I had the pleasure of having House Bill 4483 be the first bill to come from the Democratic side, and I'm a Democrat, that went through the Education Committee. And it was a very wonderful thing to see my Republican colleagues on the other side embrace this bill. And the bill actually is asking the Michigan Department of Education to create a model to return cursive writing back to our K through 12. And what we're doing with this is we're giving these school districts the option of
not
whether
mandated.
It's not mandated.
Okay.
So we're giving school districts the option to return cursives back to their schools. And what we found pretty much resoundingly throughout the state, throughout the state, that a lot of people want it back, and for a variety of reasons. The biggest reason is a lot of our historical documents, our Constitution, a Bill of Rights, all of these documents, historical documents, are written in cursive. And I would challenge to see how many of our young people can read
Right.
the Bill of Rights or the Constitution.
Right.
Another important reason why I'm pushing this forward is because it's generational. That means, the example I like to use is that my grandmother left a lot of beautiful birthday cards and letters to me that my granddaughter can't read.
Because it's in cursive.
Because it's in cursive. So it is our hopes that if the bill passes out of committee tomorrow, it goes in front of the Education Committee tomorrow for a vote. Currently, right now, I have no opposition to the bill, and some of the key stakeholders like the MEA and the AFT, some of our organizations like MESB or MESA, Oakland Schools, they all support the bill because they see the value of having our native script returned back to our schools.
And it's history, but it's also kind of practicality, right? Because, I mean, you have to sign loan documents. You have to sign papers, you need the signature.
Your diploma is signed, isn't it?
Right.
Your driver's license signed.
Right.
You just can't put an X on, you can't
Right.
put an X on your diploma,
Right.
so yes.
So that's kind of how technology has changed us too, I think, a little bit, right?
Well, technology's got to the point where you don't no longer have to even tap into a phone. You can just speak, and
Right.
sometimes what comes out of
It's
is
not
not
right.
what you say.
Exactly. That is awesome. So, well, good luck with that. And
Thank you.
what else is going on?
Well, one of the things I'll touch on briefly is House Bill 4229, which is also House Bill 5550, and those in the community may know about the regional transit. I would like to go on record as saying I believe that regional transit will be good for our area, but the bills as written currently are punitive to our communities that will not be directly impacted by RTA. So I'm hopeful that some legislation, some substitutes can be brought forward that will give communities the opportunity to opt out, just like I did with the cursive bill. We gave school districts the ability to opt out so they will not be adversely impacted by the legislation.
Okay, so yeah, that is always a hot topic.
Yeah, oh my God,
to
yes.
say the least, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it is March.
It is.
It is March. I know this is one of your favorite months
Yes.
because it is reading month.
Yes, and even though Grace and Gators are not in my district, I have to say this: Grace and Gators get things done, okay, and they're in Waterford. But one school, a couple schools right here in this area is Grepco Elementary, where Senator Rosemary Bear and I went over last year with House Bill 4467.
The butterfly.
The monarch butterfly. We're going to get that butterfly to be the state insect one day. Trust me, we're not letting this down.
Right.
But also Roosevelt Elementary, which I read a couple classes last year. I hope to go back to both of these schools. The kids are adorable, and go back and read to them.
And it's so much fun, right?
Yes, and we have a great packet of information.
Yes,
that
so
we're
it's so
giving.
interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's March is reading month, but I have a toothbrush in my hand. So explain this.
Well, you'd be surprised how many of our friends in Lansing support our initiatives in our community. And right now, Delta Dental is a huge supporter. They have a mobile unit that's able to go around to various areas in our community, those in the areas where the people can't get to a dentist, and they provide free dental services to these areas. It really impacts our homeless as well as our low-income people in the district. And what they provided for us this year is a big pack of information for each class I read in. They will get a set of toothbrushes like that.
Toothbrush.
They'll actually get a chart, a reading, once again, a reading chart.
It's a reading chart, but also a brushing teeth chart,
That's
right?
right. And we found that the young people absolutely love to brush their teeth. So they're going to be so pleased to get this courtesy of Delta Dental. I have just to give them a big plug because they do so much great work in our district, not only in our district, but statewide.
Pretty much statewide. Yeah.
Statewide.
So the motto is sink your teeth into a good book, right?
How does that fit? Doesn't that just resonate?
It does.
Yes.
It does indeed. So, you know what? Thank you so much for joining us. It is always a pleasure to
Oh,
speak
my
to you.
God, Brooke.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be looking forward to hearing a story with you, right?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you so much. And once again, we've been joined by Representative Brenda Carter. And next on the show, we learn about state symbols of Michigan on A Minute with Nature.
Hello and welcome to Minute with Nature. I'm your host, Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist for West Bloomfield Parks. And today we're here inside our nature room talking about the state symbols of Michigan. Lots of state symbols were established early in the 1900s, and one of those was our state bird, the robin. It's a very common bird here in the state of Michigan and can be easily seen and watched. They're a fun bird to watch because they do eat lots of worms, and they can eat up to 14 feet of worms in a day. That's a lot of worms for one little bird. Another way to figure out where robins are at, if you want to see them or view them, you can look for their nests in the early spring. Robin nests are pretty abundant here in our area. Different birds use different materials to build their nest. The robin uses a mud base. So you'll notice a nest that has this thick mud and then lots of grasses on the inside and surrounding it on the outside. Sometimes they'll even use string and yarn and things from other people. This one even has like a little trash bag put into it, as well as some birch bark. But for the most part, it's a mud base with the grasses put on the inside. Also, those beautiful blue eggs that they lay in there in the early spring is an identifier as well. The state reptile of Michigan is the painted turtle. The painted turtle became our state reptile in 1995 when a 5th grade class realized we didn't have one. They passed a bill for the painted turtle to become our state turtle. They're an aquatic turtle, can be found mostly by water and usually sunning themselves on logs. The reason they get their name painted turtle is because they have this beautiful shell. This is the shell from a painted turtle. You can notice along the edges there's a lot of detail and patterning that's on their shell, and that's a big identifier for the painted turtle. The state tree of Michigan is our white pine tree. The white pine tree is a great symbol for Michigan. It identifies one of the main industries that we were known for years ago, and that's the Michigan lumber industry. To identify a white pine tree versus other pine trees we might have here like the red pine, you pluck a little bundle of needles off the tree and it will have 5 needles in one bundle. And that also stands for WHITE. So 5 needles means our white pine tree, which is our state tree. The state game mammal of Michigan is the white-tailed deer. The white-tailed deer became our state game mammal in 1997, and that was decided by a 4th grade class. They found out that there was a white-tailed deer in every county in Michigan, and that's why it makes a great symbol to be represented here in Michigan. We have lots of white-tailed deer, and they stay here all season long. So you can see them in the spring, summer, winter, and fall. There are lots of other state symbols of Michigan. We have a state fossil as well as a state wildflower, but we don't have a state insect. We're one of only 3 states in the whole United States that do not have a state insect. But right now, a resident of Kegel Harbor, someone here in the greater West Bloomfield area, is trying to get a bill passed for the monarch butterfly to become our state insect. So stay tuned, because hopefully soon Michigan will have a new state insect. And that's your Minute with Nature.
For more episodes of A Minute with Nature, visit civiccentertv.com/MWN. And now it's time for our final segment, Person of the Week, where we celebrate the people in our community who are inspiring and providing toward others. And this week's recipient is Kelly Katz from the Janice Cherrick Gallery. Kelly is the director of the gallery, which is located inside the Jewish Community Center in West Bloomfield. And the gallery houses a variety of great exhibits featuring arts from all over Metro Detroit area and beyond. The work of these artists can be found in exhibits around the country and also on your TV during the Detroit Thanksgiving Day Parade. Kelly's love for art shows the moment you walk into the Janice Cherrick Gallery, from the decor and the layout of the gallery itself. This dedication to culture in our community is what makes her our Person of the Week. And if you know someone who is making a positive difference, let us know. Message us on social media with any and all suggestions, because we want to congratulate and acknowledge those making a difference in our community. That's it for this week's show. You can watch new episodes anytime online in HD at civiccentertv.com. Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Civic Center TV on Comcast 15 and AT&T Channel 99. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Civic Center TV. And you can also listen to me weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 on WWJ News Radio 950. So for all our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you for watching The Splash.